I think we're going. Are we going? Are we live? I pushed the
Oh,
button.
there's an eye.
Oh, you
There's
got
an
the
eye
eye
in the
again.
got the eye.
Okay. Well, we are
Yeah.
going. Anyway, welcome. This is the weekly pour. This is episode 17. I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. And there's a lot of space right there between you and me. And you keep What is that? Who is that?
Oh, I am live here in New Hartford, New York at Music and More Records. This is the owner, Kathy Dunn.
Hi.
Welcome, Kathy.
She's joined us on the Yay. She's here tonight to join us on the podcast to just talk about whatever we feel like talking about.
Outstanding. The owner of Music and More Records in New Hartford, New York. This brings me to one little point, and that little point is that Ace takes way too many vacations.
Yeah. Well, I got one more planned,
So,
and then that's it for a little bit.
so what was this trip? Was this trip for a show?
No, this actually is a family vacation. So I brought the wife and the kids, and we're all up here. This is like our shooting off point, a base. So we just stay with Kathy, and then we go places.
We
Gotcha.
go
Yeah,
lots
I've
of places.
seen some social media posts of you guys. It's good to see, and looks like you guys are having fun. Kathy, welcome to the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You have been basically one of our non-sponsor sponsors since day one, and we truly appreciate that. So, tell us what is your store? Music and More Records. What is it?
What's the more?
The best music store ever. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Um,
I obviously you guys sell records, um,
yes.
which we'll get into a little bit more as we go along. But what is the more music and what?
Well, I sell some t-shirts and equipment and things like that, but it's basically just music.
Okay, but you're
It's
talking equipment and t-shirts. You're talking like music equipment and rock shirts and stuff like that.
yeah. Yes.
Excellent. So best guess, how many records are currently in your store?
Maybe 1,000,
About 4,000.
about 4,000. I sold her short a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
Yeah, about 4.
4,000 records. Now,
Yeah.
do you cover all genres or are you mostly rock?
I tend to stay more in rock and metal, but I have pop, tiny bit of country, like not a lot.
Smart.
Little bit of blues, a little bit of garage, but mainly rock. That's
Okay.
that's my passion.
What who's your favorite artist?
Judas Priest,
Do you have every Judas Priest album?
probably.
Probably. Who is your least favorite?
Rush,
Do you have any of their albums?
0.
Yes, good job.
A
So,
funny story. We went into, when we first got here, we took the family and Kathy to Applebee's up here just to eat and get something to eat. I have never heard this tea ever. But when you walk into a restaurant, a store, somewhere, they've got music playing, over the overhead. And it was it was Distant Early Warning by Rush. And I just about shit my pants. I'm like, holy hell, it's Rush. They're playing it. I'm making a big deal out of it. And she's like, fuck off.
Let's leave.
It's Rush. Let's leave. But it wasn't even. It was Distant Early. Who plays Rush in Muzak in overhead? Who does that? But they made it. They made it finally.
yeah, I mean,
It
when
took
you're
a
in an
while.
elevator or on Muzak, you've made it. I mean, that's it.
That's the pinnacle.
Exactly. So
So
where exactly is New Hartford, New York?
Right, it's about 40 miles uh, east of Syracuse,
Okay.
and this is my baby.
And what is baby's name?
This is Kiefer.
Kiefer. Is
I'm gonna
it
say
Tom Kiefer?
yes.
Okay, as long as it wasn't going to be Kiefer Sutherland.
No. But when I talk to some of the older folk that come in here, they don't know who I'm talking about. So they say Sutherland. I'm like, yep,
Yeah, you just have to agree. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, big fan.
So how long has the store been open?
1988.
1988.
Yeah.
Wow,
In New
doing
York,
vinyl since 1988, or were you guys doing, cassettes and CDs and all that?
every, everything, every step of the way.
Back when I don't have anything with me, but back when CDs were large packaging and all that. That's awesome.
Yep.
1988. So 1988. So we're talking that's still cassette tapes. That's
Mhm.
still,
Right.
we're not even at CDs yet in 88, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you are, but
Yeah, it was started. It
yeah,
started.
they were
Okay.
starting to really prominent around that time.
Yeah, I was thinking
You
more like 90
go ahead.
91 of having CDs because I can remember going and every paycheck I got when I was a lifeguard, I'd go and I'd pick up like 5 different CDs. Um, and that was when you couldn't find vinyl anywhere. So
Yeah.
Wait,
why do what?
lifeguarding paid that well?
Well, yeah, when your CDs were like $10 a piece.
Oh, wow,
I was also
man.
in Guam, so they paid pretty good.
Yeah, where all the snakes are.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was telling that.
with with uh with having CDs and cassette tapes going by the side, you couldn't, at least where I was shopping, you couldn't find vinyl anywhere unless it was like Ronnie Millsap or some kind of country artist that were still doing it. What do you think has caused this resurgence in people wanting vinyl?
Honestly, I don't know if I could answer to what's causing the resurgence, but I like it.
Oh, absolutely.
I like it.
So are there certain bands that you always keep in stock because you have people coming in and asking for them like all the time?
Kiss. I
Okay.
try and I can't keep up with it. Um, uh, Vintage Kiss is really hard to find. When the distributors restock the resealables and the reissues, then I restock them, but I'm at the mercy of them. So I try and keep things in stock, but sometimes I just can't. But I do my best. Do my
So
best.
you say your suppliers, are you looking nationwide for what your customers are after?
Um, well, I deal with the three largest distributors in the U.S., but that's just for reissues. Vintage, no, it's whoever brings me in collections to buy, and that has nothing to do with distributors. That has to do with people wanting to sell their stuff.
Okay. How do you price that? Do you price that on popularity, rarity, or just
I what I pay.
okay?
I don't when I buy stuff, I don't go on to Discogs and say this is selling for $100. I'm gonna no, that's not how it works in a small town.
And Discogs is what?
Discogs, I mean, it could be anybody selling anything on the other side of that computer.
So it's a big website
It's
that
a big website.
collects sellers and buyers and
Yeah,
connects them together.
yeah.
Okay.
So if
So would
you're
it
looking
be
for something,
equivalent to the vinyl eBay?
yes,
Kind of, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So you've said that Kiss is, one of the ones which I'm not surprised. Of course, everybody wants Kiss, vintage Kiss and all that. But what about bands that put out like special versions? I'm going to bring up Striper for a change. They'll come out with their album and then they'll come out with one that's yellow. And, if you get the yellow one, and all this stuff, is this a marketing ploy for these bands or do you think that it actually adds value to a collection?
it is only worth what someone's going to pay.
I love
Um,
that answer.
so there's a lot of completists out there. So yeah, there's someone that's going to want every single color of that. Do I sell them? No. There is usually, not all the time, but there is usually an indie exclusive color that's offered just to small stores like mine. I don't have access to the Walmart exclusives, Amazon exclusives, or Target exclusives. And people do ask me that all the time. And I'm like, am I Amazon? Then no.
Right. And not being
So,
a big box store, it's kind of like the same, like for me when I was a kid, I'd go to the local card shop to get, baseball cards and football cards. They're not going to
yeah,
have the big releases that Target has or whatever those stores were at the time. Being a small town store, I respect that even more because I think for me, what you get from that small town store, that's going to be more meaningful, and I'm sure from what I've heard with Ace, if there's somebody looking for something and they ask you about it, you're searching.
I do my best. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that also have vinyl. So, I consult with a lot of people. I know a lot of other stores. So, I mean, I do my best. If someone's looking for something, I do it.
Some of your customers that are the big collectors, they know a lot of stuff of where they found things.
Yeah,
They know, sometimes they know a little bit more than maybe where to get something than you do. I know
all
you've
the
gotten some
time.
help, yeah, from
All the
just from
time.
customers that
But that's how you
uh,
learn. That's how you learn yourself into the business even more. Even though you guys have been open since 1988, I mean, I'm sure there's
Yeah.
more stuff that you can learn tomorrow that you didn't know today.
Oh, I know a quarter.
there's just a
I
lot.
I have never claimed to know everything about anything. So
That sounds like our tagline.
yeah.
If you remember, T, you talked about the different colored records. I don't know if you collected comic books at all, but
Oh yeah.
in the '90s there was nothing but variant covers.
Yeah.
So you would have issue number one of X-Men, when it came out, and it would have 6 different covers. Well, if I didn't really give a shit because I'm just buying the comic
Mm-hmm.
to have a number one issue, but there are people out there, like she said, that are completists
Yep.
and they want every one of those variant covers. So if there's a purple Kiss Asylum reissue, and then there's a yellow one and then a red one, there's people like that, and it reminds me. So it is a bit of a marketing ploy.
It is.
Um, so it's a marketing ploy and then a collection ploy, because the collector wants it. Those
Right.
guys are locked in. That's a locked in audience, the collector.
Yeah. Now, when I wasn't looking for vinyl at the time, but when the CDs came out, and of course, right when you had CDs coming out, and now you've got these larger covers that bands could put images on, and then you had the PMRC coming up, putting parental advisory. I was looking for the Poison CD with the tongue. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for, gosh, were some of the others? What was it? Black Crows that, the wearing the panties, but with all the pubes everywhere. I mean, these are things that were collector's items, but you couldn't find them because, your stores aren't going to sell them. And now that's what people are going to want. They're going to want those ones where, the Nirvana cover where the little baby's little ding-a-ling is hanging in the water, but, it's edited out for for Capitol Records or whoever it was doing the manufacturing.
How hard is it to find that Poison record, something like that?
They're reissuing it. They reissued it, I believe, in 2014. So if you're fine with a reissue, you can get it.
But what
Sure.
about the
I'll never see it.
1987?
I'll never see it.
Really?
Nobody
So
wants
how
to
do
hear
you
it.
know the difference between a 1988 issued uh Poison album versus the reissue? I mean, obviously a date, but is there a date on the back?
There is, but reissues a lot of the times don't say it.
Okay.
So it's a matter of, I guess, knowing. There's no telltale times. Um, you just you just know.
It's a trick.
You just know.
Yeah,
Tricking you.
it's kind of like, it's issue number 1 from print number 1, or is it, print number 6 of, print number 7. Superman, when Superman died, and they came out with all the ones with the bags in it, all those comics. it was very difficult to find the first edition. Everything else
Even
was
if you
second, third, and fourth.
I did. I went that day, couldn't get it. I had to get a second and third printing.
Right.
And you had to open up the cover and you had to look in the fine print to see second printing.
Yeah.
And you know where to look.
Yeah.
Then that's what I've got. You couldn't find the first one.
No. And there were a lot of records too. I guess vinyls, that would have different songs on it too. Like Skid Row, "Slave to the Grind." When that came out, there were only a select few, or maybe not a select few, but some albums actually had "Get the Fuck Out," where some of them were printed, it didn't. And it was the same with Warrant when Cherry Pie came out. Some of them had "Ode to Tipper Gore," and then some of them left it out. And it's just kind of funny to me. And I know it's not really marketing. It's what the record company wants, because at the time when Walmart wouldn't sell anything that had anything to do with bad, you had to have "Ode to Tipper Gore" or "Get the Fuck Out" off of these albums before they would ever be sold. But yet they'll let "Cherry Pie," which we all know what that's about.
Well, of course.
Do we?
It's about
Don't
pie.
we? And we've got our first guest in the room. We'll say hi to Natalie real quick. Hey, Natalie, thanks for joining us. Well, you guys can keep going. I was just saying she's there.
Well, I said hi.
We said hi.
Well, she can't say hi back.
So, but it's amazing. But you've been to places when you record shop, and those are sometimes things you look for. What you look for too are obscure bands.
I look for metal.
You're looking for obscure metal though, a lot of times too.
I'm looking for, I'm looking for all the obscure stuff that I can't find, like not related to metal. What I always look for, the first thing I look for is Tracy Chapman.
Right.
Why?
Tell me about that. That's fascinating to me.
That self-titled album is remarkable from beginning to end.
Is this the same one with Cars or whatever it is? Yeah.
Fast Car.
Okay.
That is always in demand, and it's never going to go out of demand, honestly. So that's the first place I go to the C's to see for Chapman. Every time I go, every store I go in, it's Tracy Chapman.
No kidding. That's actually surprising.
Well, and it's not just in demand. It sells really well.
Oh, my God. I can say that, was it last year? Last year or the year before when I went up there, I think I paid like $20 for it. I think it was like $20 in Indianapolis, I believe. And I came back and I brought it to auction, and I think I started it at like $30, and I think I got 120.
Get out of here.
People were going at it, and they're like, we want it. $1 increment at a time. That's how much action was on that.
Holy moly. Did it matter whether or not this was a first print, or nobody gave a shit?
There was only one print. That's it.
Man.
If you find it, it's original. It was never reissued, never redone. It's original.
Oh, that's nice to know. I'm going to go looking tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. Do it.
Yeah, if you find it, sell it to her.
Wow.
I will buy it.
So what is, other than that one, because I mean, to me, that sounds like that's just phenomenal for Tracy Chapman. I would have never have guessed that. What's the most expensive record that you've sold yourself in auction? Because I know what you said a while ago, that you're gonna have a little bit of markup for yourself, which, I mean, you wouldn't be a business if you didn't. But let's go to auction where you don't control the price. What's the most expensive one that you've let go?
Honestly, I would say it's that one.
Wow.
I don't know if it really topped it. I mean, I have sold some Kiss things. I don't even remember what they were. But I mean, I've sold some
Creatures of the Night.
Creatures of the Night.
The unsealed copy that I bought.
True. That's true.
That I spent. What did I pay? $300.
I don't remember.
It was $300.
Oh hell!
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It was the original cover.
It was my husband's.
Right, out of his collection that she pulled out.
Nice.
I knew what it was, and it was unsealed, never been opened.
Oh no, I think I have it up.
Original cover, and I knew that it would go pretty well. I didn't know it would go 300 well.
I gotta find one.
And I hung in there and hung in there and hung in there, and I got.
Oh, so you got this on an auction?
Right, I joined her auction and swooped in on it. I didn't really. Oh wow, that's a nice cover.
Oh, Psycho Circus.
Okay.
No, we're uncensored here.
Oh my gosh.
It's just boobs. It's fine.
Never. I don't know why women say that.
It's just boobs.
Have you met Roxy?
Have you met Roxy? So yeah, $300. I know I paid that, and there's been a few more like that have been 150 plus that she's gotten at her auctions. Just whether it's Kiss or whether it's Raven.
Oh, I like Raven too.
Yeah, or some of those other obscure Steeler or someone like that. With Yngwie.
Oh, Steeler's good too.
Yeah. See, so she finds these obscure bands that you may have heard of but never heard the song. Like you may have heard of Steeler because you knew Yngwie was in it, but finding the record because it didn't sell. It didn't sell when it came out in '82.
Do you have any Japanese specials?
Nope.
Okay, because my next question was going to be Loudness.
She's a big Loudness fan.
I keep all of that.
I love Loudness.
I will never sell any Loudness.
That's probably smart.
I mean, if I don't own it, I'm going to keep it.
Absolutely.
Which I know I own a lot of them.
So how do people get involved with these auctions? Is this by invite only? Is this special customers or how do people get involved?
Special Facebook auction page. It's not store related. My store is not connected to it at all. It's strictly a Facebook auction site.
Okay.
So it's invite only. If you're not a member of the page, you cannot watch. So
what's really, really interesting about this, she had been doing these auctions by herself for a while.
Yeah.
And doing pretty well. But Kathy likes to have someone there to buffer and bounce off of and talk to. So she connected with another participant who happens to be just in Evansville. So we have where we're from, Evansville, Indiana.
Right.
So you have a store in New Hartford, New York, and then a person in Evansville that has a store.
Yep.
And they are able to connect every week.
Every week.
Like you and I do, except we're 20 minutes apart. But every week. And they do these auctions and they talk and they banter and they bounce off each other. So it's a fun time. And the really cool thing is that Ashley's store and what Ashley does in January when Kathy comes to Indiana, she has a special day where they open up the store to all of Kathy's fans.
Oh, jeez. I would not go that far.
And they all come to the store that are in that area, that Evansville, Indiana area, Illinois, Kentucky, right through there. And they buy records, they talk to Kathy, they talk to Ashley, and they have a whole special day just for those people that participate in those auctions that can get there.
We call it a meet and greet day.
Right, so exactly.
A meet and greet day.
Do you make little passes and little stickers too, and let people get into the pit and
invite only? No.
Yeah, invite
only. Actually, this year, Ashley and I have been doing auctions together for 5 years. Once a week for 5 years. And we've had our participant that has been a buyer of our auctions for 5 years. And I actually met him face to face for the first time this year. He's from Texas and he drove cross country to come and meet me at Ashley's store.
Well, no kidding.
Not just that, he stopped at a bunch of places along the way.
He mapped out his route. Right. It was a 2-week route, and it ended with we coincided the road trip to where his last stop would be Evansville. So it was fun. It was fun. So we all went record shopping together. Mm-hmm. We went to Indy and Bloomington, and it was a fun time. It's a fun time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That'd have been a blast. Obviously, I didn't hear our town in there because, well, I don't think we have a record store.
You don't.
Not even in the antique stores.
There might be. There might be
No,
something.
maybe.
There might be something.
Maybe we used to have one or two. If you want to shop for vinyl where we're at, you have to drive to Bloomington, which is not that far. That's
Yeah.
where I take Kathy.
Right.
We hit up. Matter of fact, we hit up basically an antique store there, and they have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like their whole basement is records.
Is
Oh,
vinyl.
nice.
Tons of it. So don't tell anyone.
No.
Because
Oh, absolutely not. We'll keep that little secret. Remember, invite only.
That's right. Invite only.
So what's hot right now? What are the hot trends right now that people are coming in asking you for?
It's always metal, but let me tell you about this band that I love.
Yep, she's been pushing
We just did a segue right into what you love.
Let me tell you about this band that I love. Okay, so everyone knows about the band Stone Sour.
Yes.
So Josh Rand is the guitarist of Stone Sour, and I'm pretty much the exclusive New York outlet for his solo projects. So he also is. It's called the Life Project, and there's going to be a glare, I'm sure.
Actually, we can see it pretty good.
Awesome. It is Cassandra Carson, and she is the vocalist of Paralandra. They're amazing. This sounds exactly like Hailstorm. So if you love Hailstorm, you will love this band, and you can only get it from me.
So how did you luck out to become that exclusive?
We have a mutual friend.
Oh, perfect.
Of Josh Rand. So he's actually coming here this month. He is actually touring with Bush, Breaking Benjamin, and Alice in Chains.
Oh, wow.
That's what we talked about.
Yeah, so he is going to be here. What is today? I think it's the 14th. He's in Syracuse. So what he does for me is he numbers all of his things. He autographs them all for me. Both Cassandra and Josh autograph them for me. They include an autographed poster and guitar picks.
Oh, sweet.
Just for me.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, Kathy's met a few people over the years selling records.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we have a mutual friend in leather.
Leather.
We do.
Talk about leather.
There we go. Boom.
She is reissuing this on Friday.
Yes.
It is Jane, Voice of the Cult. So there's 200 copies on black, and there's 800 copies on a beautiful blue splatter. I'm pretty sure I've sold out in pre-order.
Wow, already.
But
Good
yeah,
grief.
and I also have a wait list. So if they come back into stock, I have a wait list. But I push everything leather. I love her with all of my being.
Yes, she is an absolute doll.
I do. I love her.
Yeah, we had a good time talking to her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So are there any bands that like people are anticipating coming out? I know like Ozzy's got a new album coming out soon. Are they coming to you saying, hey, if you get, let's use Ozzy, if you get Ozzy's new one, can I get on that list to get it? I mean, are people that much into vinyl that they're also looking for those new releases?
Yes.
Wow.
I always have a pre-order list. Let me see how many is actually on order.
Yeah. Her used vinyl does well, but she does really well with new vinyl.
Sure.
And also, Slipknot is also something that I put up a pre-order on my store page, and if you're not on it, like this one, I have 20 copies or 20 people. I will probably only get 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have 17 pre-orders already for the Ozzy. That's coming out the 9th of next month. That's just fine.
Wow.
So it's a booming thing.
Well, and one thing is, I think this is anticipated to be one of Ozzy's last records, right? That's what we're thinking.
They've reissued, or they've posted 2 songs off of it. And the first one, the the title track,
Patient
Yeah.
number 9.
Jeff Beck shredding. He is a shredder. Just he has so many good collaborators on this album. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, much like the last one, right? The last one he had a lot of
I love the
guests
last one too.
and collaborators and such.
Yeah.
And
Even some rap collaborators. He had Post
he has
Malone
Post
on the
Malone
last
on
one.
there.
Yeah.
Elton John. I mean, there was some.
Apparently, Elton John will just sing with anyone.
Yeah,
Swift.
apparently.
I'm also going to see Elton John next month, so I'm excited.
Well, speaking of Elton John, and this is totally unrelated to what we're talking about with records, but speaking of Elton John, they came out with the artists that have sold the most tickets in the last 40 years. Metallica is number 6.
How's that possible?
Well,
Really?
that's what I said. And then I found that the following bands sold more in this order. Actually, we'll go from 5 down to number 1 in the last. This is the last 40 years. 40 years, okay? U2, Dave Matthews Band.
And
I believe that.
This is worldwide.
Yeah, I think so. Don't ask me the hard questions.
Well, it makes sense if it's U2 because they're huge internationally.
They're huge.
Right.
They're huge.
So U2, Dave Matthews Band, the Rolling Stones.
I believe it.
Bruce Stringbean.
Right.
Sorry, I can't stand that guy.
Okay.
And number 1, Elton John.
I believe it.
I believe Elton John. I believe. I don't understand Dave Matthews.
Dude.
Oh, I do.
I know people that go to every Dave Matthews show they can go to. You know, in Indianapolis, he'll have 3 or 4 nights scheduled in a tour.
Yeah.
3 or 4 nights in Indianapolis.
He's big in this area too, for sure.
Why?
I don't know.
I've never listened to a single song.
He's like a donkey.
Well, I always say, if we all liked the same thing, the world would be boring. So spread it around.
Well, we have to have something to be confounded about.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Rush.
Will you stop with picking on Rush? They're amazing.
Other rock and metal artists that were featured on that top 50 included Bon Jovi, the Eagles, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Aerosmith, Kiss, Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Journey, Fish with a PH, Motley Crue, and Kathy's favorite band, Rush.
Think about this, though. You mentioned Guns N' Roses. Think about that, because the layoff for them was lengthy forever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they've now toured nonstop since 2015.
Yeah, somebody made a point to say that it makes sense for the Rolling Stones to be as high as they are because they were hot 40 years ago, and all these people that got to know them and their kids are now in their 50s. So yeah, of course they're going out there and doing all these shows and still selling out.
If you can still afford it.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Another thing too.
Kiss is like that. I took two of my kids to Kiss. And when I went there, everyone had their kids there. Everyone. And they've been doing that since the 70s.
Yeah.
That's one reason Kiss had lunchboxes and things like that.
Marketing genius.
Oh, yeah. Gene Simmons is the absolute beast of all marketing gurus ever.
It's true.
So, yeah.
Can't fault him for that. Guy
Heck
knows how to make money.
Not the way he's been making money. So what is the one gem, that one record that has eluded you for years and years and years that you hope one day you will get your hands on?
That is so easy. Firehouse, all of them.
Really?
They were never put out in the United States. It was only overseas. So anytime you want to get them, they're like $300, and I can't afford it.
Wow.
If you can find them. I've looked, and they're not easy to find.
It was like it was released in every country except for the United States. It was like Venezuela and Spain and Argentina and Ethiopia
because
and
they had record players.
Africa and whatever. Like it's released in like 6 countries and not the United States, and they're from the United States. It just amazes me. So I'll never in my life get it, and I've come to terms with that.
Holy crap.
Did you have a bootleg version of that?
I do have a bootleg because I can't find an original. Yeah, and it was never reissued except for I don't think it was ever reissued.
Well, sometimes the bootleg versions are good. When I lived in Guam, we could get Japanese bootlegs of CDs and cassette tapes that were they sucked because the sound was horrible. But, it was still stuff that you wouldn't get on an American, RCA or whoever record that was out on the shelves.
And what's interesting, too, is that given the vinyl boom, that Firehouse hasn't jumped all over this.
They need to.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I'm looking at their website right now, and you can buy 2 or 3 different CDs, MP3s, T-shirts, but no vinyl. Who jumped on the vinyl bandwagon? Metallica sure did.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Except for
Firehouse.
You have a whole record store day based around these vinyl records and special issues that are just for record store day participants. Mm-hmm. So this again goes to exclusivity. When we're talking about Walmart can't have that, Target can't have it. They only come to record stores, and I think every year they have an ambassador for that puts out something special.
They do, and it varies.
Right, because the Canadian one was Triumph, and I have a copy of this wonderful 30th anniversary Triumph box set of Allied Forces. I got it from somebody that bought it for me for Christmas.
That would be me.
And you're talking the band. I thought you were talking about the sarcastic dog.
You ass. He is funny. The insult comic dog. Or not the motorcycle either.
No.
Band, and I'm the only Triumph fan that there's like 3 of us. But
Kathy, were you a fan of Firehouse too?
Yes, very much so. If it was a hair band, that was in my wheelhouse.
She said hair band.
I know she did.
Okay, let me just say that he told me to say that. No, he didn't. He did.
I'll let it slide, but
no, I just like if you look on my wall, which I don't want you to because it's really messy over here, but like some of the people on my wall, we have all the members of KISS.
She has a wall of fame.
We have Cinderella, Kix, Slaughter, Dee Snider, Skid Row, Wasp, Bang Tango.
You have the albums up?
No, like autographed photos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like
I liked Bang Tango, by the way.
Yeah. You know what's coming out this week that was a surprise release that I just found out about yesterday when I placed my order?
No.
Do you remember the band Baton Rouge?
I do.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's their only good record with Walks Like
that's a good record.
So that I'm gonna have that on Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, so She Walks Like a Woman. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really good. Yeah, it was good.
It's one record, but it was a really good one. It
was good.
Do you have Hanson?
She's the one that liked the Hanson stuff.
I like them.
I know because she told you about the stuff that they've come out with recently that I listened to, and I said, "What the hell?"
Yeah, and you would never know. Like, I actually played it for a couple people. I'm like, guess this band, and they're like, I can't, and I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, what? And I'm like, exactly. They grew up.
Yeah,
they grew. It's good.
Yeah, now they're just bop.
Yep. Now they're rock.
I wouldn't call them rock.
We would like to talk to them about this,
rock.
so I know that we've mentioned that about trying to get them on.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Just
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know them.
No, we'd love, yeah, we'd absolutely love to, because that's one of those things that you go through this, all the jokes of, Hanson and their song and ha ha, it's all that. But guess what? When did they come out? 91, 92 ish?
Yeah, it was in the it was,
early mid '90s.
I don't know what the exact year, but it was good.
30
It was good.
years. And
Has it
they're
been that
still
long?
and they're still pumping stuff out.
They are.
Well, if
It's mental.
it was, you know what? I'm gonna look it up. I have to now, because
I
how do you
guarantee you
spell
that they're
mbop? How many
M
M's?
Bop.
How many M's?
M. Like
Ah, she's
M.
right. 1997.
bet you that they are pretty big on the international market too. I bet you don't hear about them here. I bet overseas they probably sell well.
25 years old
Yeah.
is
Man.
Mbop.
Yeah, but how old was the drummer? The drummer was like 11 when he started, wasn't he?
He was 4.
He was young.
4?
I don't know.
Very
I think
coordinated.
he was like 11 or 12 at the most, the drummer. He was young.
Yeah, I think he was the youngest of the brothers.
They fired him.
He was.
They fired him.
Mm.
There's only one original member now. I'm kidding. I don't know.
This isn't Great White.
They had man.
That was bad.
Did you send me you're the one that sent me the little Twitter thing, right?
Yeah.
Of it's terrible, Kathy.
No.
I feel bad for the
Did you see the recent thing that oh shoot, his name slips my mind, guitarist
Mark Kendall.
Yeah, Mark Kendall. Did you see why he didn't want to reunite? I think he said that he didn't want to reunite with all the original members of Great White.
Well, that one big thing is because Jack's sitting in a chair.
Because he says he doesn't want his lead singer sitting in a stool.
Well, that, and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. It also brings a lot of just dark negativity, not because Jack's negative, but they went through a lot of bullshit, And Mark says he's not being animus, he's not angry, but there's just a lot of dark stuff going on there. You had the club fire. Yeah, they sued the shit out of each other. Plus,
back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth. Health issues with Jack Russell sitting in a chair. Now, he's not even singing as well as he had. He's losing some power in the voice he had.
Yeah.
I mean, that has age too. I mean,
certainly.
Absolutely.
That's the problem with singers. That's the big problem with singers.
Yeah.
Is that if you can keep healthy and keep your original singer, and maybe you got to drop it down a couple octaves, that's fine. We can live with that. Halford.
Oh, absolutely.
But he can still hit a note when he wants to.
He can.
So,
but he has to
have you noticed? Which I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but this might be something that the listeners would want to know a little bit more on. But when you have the death of an artist, does that just bring people in saying, "Oh, I've got to have those Prince albums. I got to have," because they know unless they show up in a hologram, they're not putting out any more music unless something, is buried way deep in the archives that, in their catalog that will come out later. But I would imagine, like, when Prince was gone, people wanted his albums, Michael Jackson, so on and so forth. And I'm sure with yeah, exactly. Eddie Van Halen, with Dio, Ronnie James Dio, all that. I can imagine that everybody was wanting to come in and get those albums or order them or something.
I pull everything from my shelf. I don't do it. I don't sell it.
She feels like that's, I think, exploiting the artist. Don't you think?
It is.
Yeah, you're exploiting the artist.
I mean, I guess I could see that, but at the same time, maybe it's because, maybe I don't want that. And I'm just throwing Prince out there. I don't want that Prince album right now, because I want to get that new Ozzy, that's coming out, and I'm going to get it instead.
That's it too. I mean, I don't know. It's just what people want at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend because I mean, if you got people that I'm sure you can tell when people walk in if they're an actual collector or if they're just going to, come in and dare I say be a hoarder.
Yeah.
I want
Well,
all three of your, Prince Raspberry Beret albums. Well, you can only listen to one at a time.
Right.
yeah.
Right. And you might have people that want to collect that and then just sell it.
Oh, yeah.
They're not enjoying the artist for the artist and even lamenting his death. They're
Mhm.
just trying to sell something.
Yeah.
See, in this
There's a lot
whole
of collectors.
thing, every
A lot of
bit of
collectors.
this reminds me of bourbon because there's certain bourbons that I can get it at certain time, and if I get it, and I'm limited to one bottle, if I get that bottle, I can turn around and I can sell it on secondary, raise the
Yeah.
price, which keeps the bourbon prices inflated like mad, which I can see that exact thing happening in the world of vinyl. Somebody
Oh,
comes in, they're going to pay you $50, but then they're going to go on eBay and they're going to sell it for, three times that, two times that, whatever. It's a pisses me off.
it pisses off a lot of people.
Sure.
It does. Especially when it's taking it out of the hands of someone who's going to listen to it. You know,
Exactly.
not all about the money. It's not always
No.
about the money.
Because sometimes, you know, people like music. They want to listen to it. They don't want to just, now, do I have action figures that I keep in the actual uh packaging? Yeah, that's different. I can't listen to them, and if I can hear them, then there's more issues that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And then you're making the person that really wants to listen to something, you're
Mm-hmm.
making them pay twice what
Mm,
they could have.
that's
If they
true.
had come to the Kathy store and bought it just when they wanted to, they wouldn't have paid near
Yeah.
what they're going to pay on that secondary market.
Well, there's a lot of things that sell out, and I encourage people to not go pay online prices. Just be patient. It's going to be repressed. It's it's got like the Slipknot. They came out limited starting last year. They started with the self-titled, and they're just going right all the way up. And they didn't press enough of the self-titled back, like, I don't know, 9 months ago. And I encourage people to just be patient. They only printed a little bit because they had to move down the line because there's a waiting process. They didn't have time to press 50,000 copies of the self-titled. They only did like 20,000, and then they will come back later and do the rest of the batch. um, People were paying, you know, $50, $60 for a $25 album. And I told people, just be patient. It's going to be repressed. And now I have them on my shelf. So it's a matter of, when do you want it and how much do you want to pay? And I just encourage people not to do that. It's going to happen again.
Be patient.
Be patient.
In the
That's it.
collector's world, first pressing, second pressing makes a difference. To the
Not when it
average,
comes to one, not when it comes to one pressing like this reissue. It's the same pressing. It's the same exact pressing. It's
okay,
just
but
they
it's a
picked.
reissue.
It is, but a lot of people don't want to pay $300 for an original.
Right, but that's what I'm saying for a collector, not your average listener, but your
Yeah,
collector, I would think that a reissue um would not be as attractive as that original.
depends.
Does it? Okay.
Well, it depends on your wallet.
Of
I'm
course,
I'm
yeah.
happy with reissues. Now, do I want first pressings of Chastain? Yeah. Do I own them all? Yeah. Will I take a reissue? Yeah. So it's about the music for a lot of people. But like you said, collectors, hey, if you got a wallet for it, then I'm jealous.
Yeah, because some of them aren't even going to be opening them. They're going to still be in plastic. They
Yeah.
don't want to listen to it.
And see, I want to listen to all of my stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
had those collector CDs of, Poison with Open Up and Say All, but I opened it. If it's the cover, it's not
Yeah,
the
that
CD.
that doesn't always diminish the value
Right.
immensely when you've played it, as long as it's well taken care of.
Yeah.
It's not beat up.
Yeah,
And it's
you're
that
flinging it across your Volvo
right.
or your
Using it,
Vega or whatever.
using sandpaper on it or something
Pontiac
stupid.
Firebird trying to skip tracks.
Right. I see you've done that.
I'm reminiscing. Sorry.
So if it's well taken care of, I mean that's a lot of her auction are albums that have already been played.
Yeah.
But they're well taken care of. There's no scratches. There's no markings on the cover. The packaging's still good. That's still going to bring high dollar.
Do you do so when somebody brings in a collection? Um, are you grading the albums by your own standard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I know
I
if
mean,
somebody comes in with like a ripped inner sleeve, does that matter? I mean, that matters
it
to a collector, sure, but does that
it does.
matter to a store owner that knows that they're going to sell it?
It all depends.
Okay,
Now, I always tell people, if you're bringing me in stuff to buy, 0 being garbage, 10 being sealed and mint, I don't want to take anything less than an 8, and that's overall. I don't want visible scratches. If it comes with the original inner, that's a plus. But you know what? It's not always a necessity.
you're
If it
talking
has,
scratches. Are you talking scratches on the actual record?
yeah, I don't buy anything with visible scratches. I'll turn
Sure.
it away.
Okay.
But like I have like a Van Halen album here. It's got like corner wear.
Sure.
You know, it's got stuff. It's been played. It's got some bends. It's got some, whatever. It all gets taken into consideration, but I'm not going to turn it away because it's also an album that came out in what
78.
1978. You're going to find a mint album from 1978? No, you're not.
Right.
That's actually looks to be in
So,
pretty good shape.
And this one does have the original inner. Does it have? Well, this is pretty damn good.
That's in real good shape.
I'm gonna keep it. But I
That
mean,
were they putting lyrics down in 1978?
No. Well, I mean,
Oh,
they were,
Yeah, they
but
were.
not on this particular one. But I mean, like, it's all about condition. I mean, some like I'm gonna check out this one because I know I have a second one right here.
Yep, right there.
I have a second one. Now I want to see if this one has an inner. See, this one's even worse. Like this one has a lot of opening wear. This one has no inner. So I mean, well, it does, but it doesn't matter. It's just a company inner. So I mean, all of it matters. If it's got an original inner, it's going to be more. It's going to be more. If it just has this company inner, it's going to be less.
You've talked about hype stickers before too.
Oh, I love hype
stickers. If it has a hype sticker,
I love it
on the original packaging. That's
very appealing.
And I Ace and I both know what those are, but explain to the listeners what a hype sticker is, or even better yet, show an example. And it is not a PMRC sticker.
No, it's usually something that comes on the original packaging,
right?
Even if it's opened and played, and it's going to featuring this song, featuring the hit single, that kind of thing.
Now I probably can't find one.
Of course, she's got tons of records here and can't
find an unopened No More Tears from Ozzy.
Ooh,
because that probably got one.
Nope, that's not it.
But I know I've seen in her auctions where she will point that out, that hey, the hype sticker's here.
People love it,
and people just love that stuff. Well, even the box set that she bought for me, I kept the sticker, even though I opened everything. I kept that hype sticker.
Yeah.
What's the appeal of hype stickers?
I don't really. It's individual. Like I think it's cool because it usually says, like featuring the hit, whatever. I just think it's appealing. It proves that it's original.
Sure.
It's just,
right.
I love it.
And it's all part of the time capsule that you're sending yourself down when you pick that record up.
It is.
It's all part of that.
I'm just going through my stacks here because I'm like, do I?
No, you're fine. We can still ask questions. Who's your all-time favorite 80s metal band?
Thank you.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Judas Priest. I love Judas Priest.
Least favorite.
Do.
Can't say Rush.
No, that's not a hair metal band.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I have a least favorite.
She
Honestly,
finds endearing qualities in each band.
I
Well,
kind
no,
of
I
do.
agree. I mean, I'm not a big fan of. Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking.
can't really think of one either.
You
I
know,
can't.
there's some I don't like if Tora comes on, or is that yeah?
You love Scorpions.
I hate the fucking Scorpions. Sorry, I don't. Not that I don't want the Scorpions to come on the show. I hate Scorpions.
Well, you just ruined that. See, I like the Scorpions, but yeah, I don't like AC/DC.
See, that is unusual even.
Blasphemy.
So
I
they've got
don't
two.
like AC/DC. To me, and this is the weirdest thing to say, but every single song sounds the same. And I get that it's the same people playing the songs. I get that, but there's just something about it. AC/DC, I could do without.
Yeah, well, and that's
They're
probably
not going to come on the show now either.
that's what a lot of people I think say about a lot of bands too. Nickelback being one. Oh, it's all the same.
I love Nickelback.
I do too.
I don't know why people started hating him overnight, but they're all wrong.
Social media.
Remember that? Everyone loved Creed until someone said no.
That's
Creed,
true.
Everybody loved Creed until Scott Stapp went off and said that Creed was supposed to be a spiritual band. And at the time, and we'll call this 95, somewhere around there, 96, when they were a spiritual band, there were no such thing. Your Stripers were gone. All of your metal bands that did stuff like that were gone. So all of a sudden, Creed's coming out saying, or Scott Stapp is coming out saying that. I think he brought on that hatred himself. And plus, I think he went a little cuckoo too.
Well, you don't even have to say it if you're listening to what he's saying. You don't even have to come out and tell people that it's whatever you take it as. But he didn't have to even say that.
Sure. Now we've got another one of our listeners, John. He says when we were asking about a favorite 80s metal band, his is Motley Crue. It's hard to argue with. I love the Crew, but yeah,
we're talking like if we're talking like non-metal, like favorite of non-metal would be
in the
Styx.
80s.
80s is Styx is the 80s,
stuff in the 80s,
the 70s, the 80s, the 90s,
but
the
they're
2000s,
not an 80s band.
the 2010s, the 2017s. They have one in every single era.
Yeah,
Kathy is Tommy Shaw's biggest fan.
I am.
Oh, so you were a big fan of all of it.
Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees.
All of it.
Damn Yankees.
I love Damn Yankees.
For a band that put out 2 records, man, 2 stellar records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really
solid.
There's a third one. There's a third one we'll never hear.
No.
It's recorded in a vault.
Unless
one day,
unless we can get Uncle Ted on the show.
Never gonna happen. But you never know.
Did you just say never?
I'm going to I'm gonna make a phone call.
For what?
I have no phone calls.
Okay, because you just said that it would never happen, but I happen to know somebody that's very good friends with Uncle Ted.
Do it.
Well, no, you said it'll never happen, so.
Now I'm going to say it's going to.
Okay. So we might be able to pull something like that off, but let's say we do. One of the things I'm going to ask for is I want to hear one of those songs that are in the vault somewhere.
I'm not even sure he was on that record. That was an eclectic group.
Well, yeah,
Kelly Kagi. That would be. There was no Tommy Shaw. I'm pretty sure of that.
What on the third Damn Yankees?
Yes, on the mysterious third Damn Yankees.
Oh well, then I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, there was no Tommy Shaw.
If there's no Tommy Shaw and no Ted Nugent, then I don't want to listen to it.
There might have been Ted, but Kelly Kagi played drums. It was really strange. Really strange. And it didn't even sound like Damn Yankees. It's kind of like the Fraley's Comet record, the second one.
Yeah.
That didn't sound like Fraley's Comet.
Is that the one that have?
It had Ace, and then he didn't want to do all the singing. I think I have that. He didn't want to do all the singing, so they hired a guy, and he kind of took over the record.
Okay, if I don't want to do all my work in the office, can I just hire a guy?
Yeah, you just hire a guy.
Oh, if I'd have known it was that easy.
Vinny. She has a nice Vinnie Vincent Invasion record here.
I love him so much.
She loves Vinnie Vincent, apparently.
Does she have Hurricane?
Ooh.
You know what?
Over the Edge.
Sure
That's a good record.
Not Over the Edge I don't have.
I love that album. So, I was turned on to them when they were on tour with Stryper back in '88. And they opened. Oh my gosh. I went to I was in Virginia Beach. I don't remember if it was Mother's Records and Tapes or what, but it was one of those places like that. And both Hurricane and Stryper were there. And they were doing, the autograph thing that bands used to do back in the day at a record store. And I had a jean jacket that was signed by both Hurricane and Stryper. And the original Stryper with oh shit, what's his name? The bass player that's not there anymore.
Oh, your guy.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. I'd have to look it up, and it's not worth it.
That was a
thing,
like you mentioned, that bands would do.
Tim Gaines.
You guys had done that several times, right? Back in the late '80s, where you could call a promotional band's promotion, and they might come in and do a meet and greet kind of thing.
As long as you had a plate full of cheeseburgers on the table, then it was good.
Yeah, you met a lot of people that way.
Do you remember the band South Gang?
I've heard of it.
South Gang, no.
South. It was. I'm not sure of the exact year. I'm going to say early 90s. My husband's store was their very first in-store, and they were underage. And they kept saying, Rob would, whenever he would do the in-stores, he would, do beer and, whatever. And he didn't realize that they were underage. And they kept saying, "You are the coolest." And Rob's like, "I know." And then at the end of the night, they're like, I can't believe you gave us beer. And my husband's like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "We're like 17. And he's like, "Oh God.
Don't call anyone."
God. So my husband's store was South Gang's first in-store appearance.
Nice. Awesome. I just looked them up. I got called out on the chat for turning my head to look it up. I actually found them. They were a hard rock band out of Rome, Georgia. And they were active from 88 to 93.
Yeah. You were real close.
Yeah. So my husband's store at that time was in DeLand, Florida.
Oh, okay. I know where DeLand is.
That's where my husband's store was from, I'm going to say 88 to about 92 when he moved to New York.
Wow.
That was where his band was based out of Florida for a long time too. Yeah. Rob was in a band called Wicked Tees. Yep. They have a fantastic EP. It's on YouTube. Look it up. It's really, really good.
Really good. Spell Tees.
Teaze.
Teaze.
Wicked.
Yeah.
T with a Z. It's good stuff.
Yeah. My husband was not the original singer. So the singer that is on the cover is not, well, let me say that. He wasn't the original singer. So the photo that is on the cover is my husband with the former singer's signature.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
It's been a mystery for years.
Yeah.
Where were they based out of?
Florida.
Yeah, like where?
That I can't remember. Let me grab it because I have it over here.
Zephyr Hills?
He was signed to Retrospect in 1988.
Retrospect Records in 1988.
Okay.
And I know they did the Florida club circuit for a while. Doing that type of stuff, even if you have an EP out, is a struggle though to get noticed.
Oh, totally.
So I don't know how Rob and I never got deep into how far they could have gotten, but a lot of bands just kind of fall apart after you just fight and fight and fight to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Do what?
Hurricane
Yeah,
Alice.
Hurricane Alice. There's another obscure band Kathy's a big fan of. There's a lot of those. But, when you come out in 1990, the clock's ticking on you anyway.
Oh,
You can,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands that put out good records in 1990, 91 that got no footing because it was just losing steam.
Nice.
Yeah. Lady on My Mind. That's really good.
Is my husband.
Woohoo.
Oops. It's hard to see with that light, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but look it up. It's on YouTube, and it's really, really good.
yep. He's on vocals on it.
And that was an EP, correct?
Yes, 5 songs. I Want Your Love is track 1, and that is my favorite.
I just found a cassette for that EP. It's got 6 songs.
Nope, this one is the
bonus track.
CD. Yeah, I don't even think that he owns a cassette of it, honestly. And if he did, it's probably long gone.
For a while there was a Music and More record label also. Yep.
Badass.
Guess who was on it? Leatherwood.
Hanson.
You guys did a Leatherwood record, right?
Yeah, Leatherwood.
No, not Hanson. Leatherwood.
Yeah, Hanson.
One can only hope.
Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
So
because then it'd be easier to get them on the show.
That would be awesome. I'd do it.
There we go. Give us a call.
I'd do it.
But yeah, so not just records, vinyls, CDs, cassettes, apparel, but now there's a
and records labels.
Yeah. So that was always kind of neat that and no one told me. I just happened to see it on the damn CD. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it was the only one Rob was involved with. But yeah.
That's still freaking badass.
So,
a
lot of history here, a lot of things that have happened, a lot of good times.
Oh, most definitely. Music's not going anywhere. Music is here to stay. Does your business, does it fluctuate with the rest of the economy, or?
Yes.
Okay, I just wondered because everybody wants music. Like, music is people's escape from the world of reality. Like, I come home, I don't want to deal with insurance anymore, so I'm throwing on some music, or I don't want to deal with this or that. It's always music. I don't want to deal with my wife, who's probably not listening, so I can say it. I put on music. Totally not true. But that's people's outlet, and it's not going anywhere. So I think that was a valid question because, I mean, I still spend my money on it. Ace sends me stuff on the phone all the time. New song out, or hey, check this band out. And next thing I know, I find myself buy, because it's just something I want to make sure that I can go back to later, because my tastes change every damn weekend like everybody else's. I just mowed my grass on Saturday, and for 3.5 hours, I'm listening to Halsey.
You know who else is really good?
I don't know, but she was.
Oh my gosh, here we go with the Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Who?
I love her.
Lizzo.
Oh, yeah, Lizzo.
I like it all. I like pop. I like hip hop. I am a metal girl at heart, but I can get down with a little bit of Lizzo.
I cannot do country.
Oh, I don't like country either.
Well,
Nope.
we had that discussion. We had that discussion about country for a while.
Yeah, I can do the same thing. I can do the metal, the pop, some rap if it's got a good beat to it. I don't. I want a good beat, but country, I just can't do.
You know, I can to an extent. It just depends. A lot of it depends on the pop stuff too. Like Pink, I like Pink.
Pink is like a pop rock, though.
But she can freaking sing. You know.
Oh yeah.
But you know, you talked about music being an escape. I also find it being a unifier. You know,
Yes.
one of the things that you and I have in common, music. What do Kathy and I have in common? Music. And we can always talk about that stuff. And that in and of itself is an escape.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
the three of us getting together talking is an escape from everything. Talking about music.
You know, I think like Shannon is his wife is my best friend. And sometimes when we get together, she's just like, I'm out. Right. We will sit there and have a whole conversation about music, and she's like, I'm just going to read my book. Because she knows that we can talk for days and days and days about a band.
Yes.
And, you know, music is just, it's awesome.
There's been many mornings that Ace and I get together and we'll talk for, you know, what we assume is going to be for 5 or 10 minutes about music. And oh, well, hey, it's been about an hour. I guess I better go, because we've just, you know, you start on one and the next thing you know, it leads and leads and leads and leads, you know, so you've got this huge puzzle put together from all of this music you're talking about. Somebody in the comments section of the stream just said that they absolutely, it says, I love Lizzo.
No.
Yes.
So see, somebody else is on there. Pink is amazing. That girl is rock solid and her vocals kick ass. I am going to say so does Demi Lovato.
Demi can belt it out. She always could.
Just wait, she will.
I feel like Demi's strength is now
her guitarist.
Her band.
I love Nita.
Do we feel like this is a phase? Is this a 1 or 2 record thing with Demi? Do we feel like this is just her trying to get on the radio or get attention?
No.
Or is this the real thing?
I don't think so. I think this is a Taylor Swift thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's making a change.
I think it's going to be a change in a good direction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Totally.
I think it's going to have a pop metal feel, and I like pop metal. I like Lita Ford.
Yeah, we call that pedal.
Right. I hope. I mean, she posted, Demi Lovato posted something on Instagram with her at 15 wearing a Motley Crue shirt, singing. And it said, not a phase. This is me when I was 15. And I'm like, man, is that real, or are you just trying too hard?
So maybe the shit that we've heard for the past few years, maybe that's been the phase, because that's what the record company pushed her to do.
I have a feeling that she has been told what to play, what to sing, everything.
Yeah.
From the time she was signed with Disney. And I think that's led to a lot of mental problems and mental health problems for a lot of those people.
Yeah. Sure.
Whether it's Lindsay Lohan, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez,
Britney
Spears. If you read about any of these and the things that they go through, first of all, they're pushed to the limit, physically, mentally, vocally, whatever, and they have no freedom to do anything they want to do. And maybe that's what this is. I'm hoping that's what this is. And for Nita, I'm hoping it's just her wanting to express a different thing, you know, to do something a little different.
Here's the thing that goes through my head that I it might be true, it might not. I've not heard this anywhere. It's just something that came into my head. What if Demi reached out to her? I'm not talking publicist. I'm not talking, you know, record producer, nothing like that. What if she reached out to her and said, hey, I really need to get out of this funk. I need to get away from this company who's making me do things I don't want to do. And what if she says, you know what? I'll help you out, because by helping you, it's going to help me too. But I want to do this more for you. Maybe she's giving back, and Demi is, I don't want to call her a project. You know, I don't want to take away anything from her, what she's doing whatsoever. But maybe this is her saying, you know what? Hell yeah. Let's get these women together. You and I will, you know, grab some other people, a drummer and a bassist and all that. We're going to make this happen, and we're going to make it happen for you, because I believe in you, and I want to see you succeed, and we're going to make sure you do, so you can give the big middle finger to, the Bob Rock there of the pop community that was making her do whatever.
I think there's some of that because I guarantee they had personal conversations that weren't through publicists,
Of
and
course.
I guarantee they were
Of
convincing
course.
because I think Demi had to probably really convince Anita to leave a good thing.
I mean, she did have a good
Yeah,
thing. I mean, I feel like we all have opinions on why she left Cooper. I feel it's very controversial. So I won't give my opinions, but I think in my heart I am right.
He knows your opinions because I told him.
yeah, I'm excited about it. For
Yeah,
Demi and for her,
I'm,
I'm
my
excited.
curiosity is
Yeah, my curiosity is piqued, but I'm excited because I don't think either one of them are going to let this fail. And I think it's
I
going
don't
to
think
be a
so either.
big FU to a
kind
lot of people.
of like
But I
yeah.
think it's a needed change. I really do.
Sure.
I think it was needed and it was necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think if you're going to keep going in that type of profession, you've got to change it up for yourself.
And
You've
she
got
has
to do
rocked hard for a long time. I think maybe she just needs to step back and go, I can breathe for a second. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or
yeah.
maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe we're all wrong. And she just said, you know what?
I'll pay you a bunch of money.
Yeah,
It's true. Could be about the money.
absolutely. That's why
Could
Ric
be a
Flair
lot of things.
wrestled one more time.
Do you think it was about the money?
Absolutely.
Flair, Flair is notoriously terrible with money. So yeah,
Yeah. And wives.
yeah, that too.
So somebody he's probably still paying alimony to and probably couldn't afford it or something. But yeah, I'd totally all for the money. To follow, to be the day after SummerSlam. Yeah, totally about the money.
Well, and I think you don't think it was somewhat going out on your own terms kind
No,
of thing.
nope,
Yeah.
sure
Well,
don't. No,
but
because his what was his final match supposedly was against Shawn Michaels. That
yep.
is
The one at
still
WrestleMania.
well, yeah, before he went to AEW or whatever one he went to. But I mean, that should have been the pinnacle of his career, whether it was a win or a loss. Doesn't matter. That one is still in the archives of one of the best matches for him, at his age, and that could have been it. But
Well, and there was
no.
no reason for him to go beyond that match.
Right.
There was no reason to go beyond that match unless he just can't not do something and he needs money. One or the
Yeah.
other, or both.
Yep. But this is the first time I think I've ever seen Ric Flair wrestle an entire match with a shirt on.
No, well, it's not. It's maybe the first time you've seen it, but it's not the first time he has. WCW before he
Really?
came to WWE. Yep. Yeah, he was going through a lot of depression issues, having a lot of problems with Jim Herd, a lot of problems with Eric Bischoff. One of them he got into a fight with and like threatened to rip their eye out or something like that.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
Bischoff.
that's normal.
Yeah, and he was wearing a shirt then because he did not feel like he looked as good as he should have,
Gotcha.
and it was bothering him. That kind of thing. And now he's 80 years old or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'd wear a shirt.
I'm telling you what, he better be done now.
Oh, he has to be. He
Has
has
to
to.
be.
And that was a big card. There was a lot of matches on that card,
Yeah, there were.
and he was the old fart on that card.
Yep, he was. Did
I
you
think
watch SummerSlam?
I've watched most of SummerSlam.
Woo!
What a rousey match! Why so short of a time? I mean,
Because one of the matches before it ran long.
there you go.
That's
Okay.
exactly why. So they cut it short. But they also wanted that added bit of controversy by having a 3 count with a tap out, so that they could set something up for Rousey to be suspended, so that they can figure out what they're going to do with her, because they brought back Bailey, and with Triple H taking over creative and all that. So
Well, I like the heel turn. She's a better heel.
absolutely,
I like how they keep her strong in the finish. They've done
yeah.
that. Keep her strong in the finish. And is there room enough for two big heels with Bailey back? Because that's awesome. I
I
think it's
think it
great.
is, and I think that this faction that Bailey has put together could be an indicator of what Ronda's going to bring back when she returns, and I think we may finally see a a come together of the four horsewomen
Ooh,
that
finally,
involves Rousey.
finally,
Yep.
yeah, that would be interesting. So
Because I
yeah, I'm
mean, Triple H was always big on the women. I'm not being funny, but he was always big on pushing them in NXT and getting the women back up to where they're. And so was Stephanie. I mean, good grief, she's a woman herself, and they brought out the actual women's belts that were for wrestling, not just a diva kind of thing.
mm,
So I think there's some interesting things getting ready to happen.
right, and you could tell that Triple H's fingerprints were all over a lot of those matches
Yeah.
in SummerSlam, and I think it's going to get more interesting and maybe fresher, newer,
So
better.
if you haven't watched the entire match of Brock and Roman, you need to watch it. That was produced, if I'm not mistaken, by Michael Hayes.
Haha, do do do.
You have got to watch that entire match. Pay attention to the little things, the little details.
Okay,
It's easily match of the year. And I'm
really,
calling that for 2022 because I don't think anything is going to beat that the rest of the year.
that's impressive. You say that because Lesnar but Lesnar's matches have been getting longer.
Uh-huh.
His pro have gotten better. His matches are getting longer.
Yep.
If you remember, he was going out and doing 5 minute, matches, and now
Yeah.
everything about Lesnar, even at his age, is getting a little bit better.
This was a last man standing, so you knew it was going to go a little bit longer. But the amount of just little things that were put into it, and some of the big things that were put into it were absolutely ridiculous. And I rarely watch a match again. um, I'll watch highlights and stuff like that, as the weeks go by when they show them on TV or whatever. But that match I will watch again. Like I said, match of the year. I don't think anything's going to top it. I don't see it. Didn't like the outcome, but at the same time, somebody's going to get put over by Roman. Brock
Yeah.
doesn't need it.
Nope.
His Hall of Fame career is set. So
No, they need to find more people for Roman at this point.
right. Well, the next one's going to be the sword guy.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, oh Drew.
Yeah.
Um,
Finally. Yeah.
yeah, because
Where,
you remember when he won the title in the middle of COVID when all they had were TV screens in the audience.
right.
So
Right.
the
That was
audience never really got to see a tour or house show or whatever with him as champion. So he'll probably be the next one, but
he's still
um,
over too.
oh yeah, yeah,
So
most definitely. Well, listen, we need to make sure we give a good shout out to our friends over at Bad Company Barbecue. Jason, of course, everybody knows him. Don't forget, he's still running that promo code, The Weekly Pour, to get 10% off your seasonings and stickers. That's at badcompanybbq.com. Check him out on Facebook, the Instagrams, and all that fun stuff. We want to thank Kathy for joining us this evening. Kathy, again, you are the owner and queen of all for Music and More Records in New Hartford, New York. We want to thank you very, very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
You were a blast. Your stories were awesome. Your explanations of different things was fantastic. I will happily go on here and say that right before we went live, you talked about how nervous you were going to be and that you were worried about how it was going to be. But I tell you what, you blew it out of the water, and we would love to have you on again if you would join us.
Maybe in January.
Yeah, maybe
Wait,
January.
because in January you may be in Indiana.
I'm here every January. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, this is episode 17. I'm TBT. That guy over there is Ace. This little one right here, that's Kathy. We want to thank you guys for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. See ya.
See ya.